Welcome back to Times Square today. We bring some of the top leaders, entrepreneurs, and experts all across the globe to you. And today I've got a special guest, my very good friend, Lee Richter. Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. We got the perfect day, no rain, no humidity, just absolutely glorious.
Buzzing down here. I'm sure we'll give you a beautiful ambulance siren, some horns, some jackhammers. It's going to be great.
It wouldn't be New York without it.
That's it. That's it. Look, Lee, you are an expert in many things, but among the two I think of you the most for are marketing and PR. Let's talk a little bit about the shift in marketing over the last few years and where you see it heading.
Absolutely. You know, the thing about marketers is we see trends and then throw ourselves in front of it. And the last trends I saw were like in the 90s, you know, in the .com, getting the .coms, getting your websites up, getting your brand online. And now I see the next version of that, which is making your brand more meaningful online. And I think that's one of the things I'm seeing in the trends right now with cryptocurrencies, DAOs, metaverse, and also just thinking about the NFT world. And so I'm diving in head first in the NFT space because I see how much it's changing the way we're doing business amongst each other, but also building a very meaningful community together.
It's really interesting because I think most people have this preconceived notion about NFTs. They probably don't know them very much, but it seems to me like when people talk about NFTs, there's actually a shallow connotation to it, not a depth of how you connect and go deeper with a business. Explain to me how you've seen people using NFTs in a way to create deeper connection.
Thanks for asking that, because I do think you're right. So many people see just the face of it and they're like, oh, a piece of digital art, and I can do a screenshot, and why is it valuable? And what's really valuable is the contract behind it. You know, you have a background as an attorney, and you know writing contracts is a whole science, right? It's an entire way of how to create a deeper relationship and transaction. One that's meaningful on the internet includes NFTs, and the reason it does is it's almost like an access ticket, a way of getting in, but also once you're inside the community or the metaverse with whomever you're doing business with, you have an opportunity to make it more meaningful, because now people like Tom Bilyeu and Gary Vaynerchuk are building communities where they're invested for the next 20 or 30 years in how to make it really engaged. And being in internet marketing, we've seen trends where it used to be 20% opt-ins, and then it was 15, and then it was 10%. Now it's even less than 10%. We've seen advertising change on Facebook. What I'm seeing is the trend is people don't want just 10% opt-in and a less meaningful amount of people involved. With the metaverse, you're now seeing 60, 70, 80% engagement. People really wanting to be there, paying the price to be there, learning the language, and also choosing the communities that they want to stick around with. So when I look at Gary Vaynerchuk, the people bought his V and Friends, they're in it for like many years together. And I was just with him and 7,000 of his attendees at his first VCon in Minneapolis. And this year I'm here at the NYC NFT conference for the second year in a row. And last year, Gary Vee was just finished launching his NFTs, and this year it's a year into it. And last year, he raised nearly $90 million selling his NFTs, and since then, it's been almost $400 million in transactions.
Wow.
And the reason is not only do you get the NFT and the access, but now with his smart contracts, you have the opportunity to sell it on a secondary market. So when you sell it on the secondary market, not only does the person selling it benefit, but the originator, including Gary Vee, can build in that they get paid on the subsequent transactions.
Yep.
And that is the biggest game changer. Not only the deep community, but getting paid over and over and over again for what you created in the first place.
Yeah, what I think is most intriguing about this is most people they've heard about cryptocurrency, they've heard about the blockchain, they don't really understand it, but what I love about NFTs is they're attached to smart contracts. And a smart contract, the way I try to explain it to friends, like, look, if you believe in yourself as a painter, and you make a painting and you sell it to your friend Bob for $10, because that's what the market value is right now.
Right.
If Bob sells it for 10 million later, you don't get any of that.
At this moment in the regular, scenario, you're right, you wouldn't.
But in a smart contract, you can write into the contract that every time this is sold, in a marketplace, it automatically sends you a piece of your royalty if you build in a royalty. For me, being in the music world and the film world, it's a really interesting area to watch for rights management.
Absolutely.
Because when you put out a song on Spotify or the radio or wherever it goes out, and it will automatically generate everybody's royalties, and it will take away a lot of the bureaucracy, a lot of the accounting errors and all the other things. So it's going to be a fascinating world.
And you can license through an NFT. So you can have a song, just like Snoop Dogg sold the licensing to one of his musical pieces through an NFT.
Yep.
He did it in a clubhouse room early on, came out, sold it. It went for $850,000. It surprised even him. But what it did was showed him, wait a second, this is a new way of working directly with my ideal client, build a better relationship, and keep building it and keep benefiting when it is sold again or used again or licensed again. And that's one of the key reasons to NFT is to license. Now you can manage that. It can be proven on the blockchain, and you can have a time limit based on what you want to in the smart contract.
Yeah, so I mean, NFT is a very simple thing and memeable, but what people don't understand is it's a very complex, it's the data and the contract and the technology behind it is the complexity. The beauty of it is you don't see it.
Generally you don't, and there are people making an art and science out of building those smart contracts. I'm actually working with the team right now, is in the middle of a launch, and the launch was delayed 2 days because of fine-tuning the smart contracts. They had to be very specific because it's on the blockchain forever, and you can't just go and change it later.
Right.
And what they realized is as they were launching, wait a second, we still have a little work to do. And since we're pioneers in this industry, we're all learning together. And we're watching people like Gary Vee and Tom Billio, when they go through their launches, what can we learn from them? And so I think this is a really, really interesting time because as we're self-educating, we're also applying it and growing together.
It's almost like a biblical rule. Whenever two or more are gathered, an NFT launch shall be delayed. They're all delayed because, like you said, it's. I mean, you could rush it, but it's just not that simple. People watching this who are overwhelmed by this, hopefully we give them a couple examples of some basic things. But how do you suggest people start looking into how might this work in my, because it's so foreign. I mean, when I set up my first crypto wallet, everything since I started using Microsoft Word, let's say, even the internet felt like an extension of like the same thing, like the same menus, as a file, edit, save. Okay, this goes forward, this goes backwards, but something about crypto feels different. It feels foreign. It's like a whole new layer added on top. Where do people begin?
It is the Web3, and I will say, before you think about applying it to your business, one of the things I recommend is people understand it as a consumer. So apply it to your life personally first. Now, in your life, you love music, you create music, you have opportunities to collaborate on music, right? Yep. One of the things you can do personally is start watching other musicians. How do they participate? What do they do? And then maybe buy one of their NFTs, experience what it's like to be a consumer of that.
Yeah.
What is it like to collect it and put it in your portfolio or your gallery?
Yeah.
From that, you'll get ideas from the experience, how to then create one and bring it out to your audience. So you test small first. You don't just go launch a huge campaign. What you do is you figure out maybe a small event. Like we're here in New York. You had a private dinner last night for about 30 people. That might be something in the future that you're like, I'm going to be in New York. 30 people will have the honor of having dinner with me at one of my favorite Italian restaurants. Right. Buy this NFT for access. Now when they buy it, they can come on this adventure with you. Yeah. Not only can you enjoy having dinner with them, but a couple weeks later, you might send them something based on that dinner to invite them to something else.
Right.
Or to invite their friends next time because you like them and you want to expand your community. Now you have a way of really making it a customized experience.
Yeah, it's really, when people, we're seeing the right way to do NFTs. We don't know yet, and there's going to be a million right ways, but it really is, as you said, it's access to a community.
I see that number one. I see it almost like an access ticket. If you look at a famous band that has been out there from the beginning giving people access is the Backstreet Boys. Now I was approached with our friend Howard Getson. We went to a game in Dallas, went to see the Cowboys, and we're on the field of the Dallas Cowboys, and one of the participants who was with us in this private group said, oh, I understand you know about NFTs. And he was representing the Backstreet Boys. And he was saying, in the beginning we sold tickets. Hey, do you want to come back with the band during the show, after the show? Eventually they sold tickets. Would you like to fly with the band to the next gig? Wow. That was like exclusive access, right? Well, now they were launching the NFT campaigns because their audience is already trained that they want that access. Sure. They're very dedicated. And through the NFTs, they gave global access. Whoever took action and bought the NFT would then have that next experience. So it was a natural next layer for someone like the Backstreet Boys and their manager, because they're like, we've been doing this for years. How do we make it even better for our customers, but even easier for them? Say that you and I buy one of those NFTs from them. And we want to go on a plane from one gig to another. Say they're going from Los Angeles to New York City. If by chance at the last minute we can't do it, rather than calling the Backstreet Boys and boo-hooing and asking for a refund, we could just sell the NFT to someone else. Now, if the Backstreet Boys have a residual in there or a royalty play, they'll get paid on the subsequent sale. So everyone is happy. Someone else can have access to it that might not have. You could get your money back or even more.
Right.
And then the band, they get paid again. So now it's turned into a win-win-win transaction. And for someone like Gary Vee, when he did his $90 million launch, I don't think he anticipated he'd already a year and a few months later do almost 400 million in that secondary, plus the original launch.
Sure.
So for them to go from 90 to nearly 400, in the beginning they didn't even know if anyone would participate.
Right.
And the funny thing is right before they launched, I was on a call with the team, with their team and their marketing team, and they were explaining they were a little nervous about the launch because they had 5 million people on the email list.
Wow.
5 million, 1%, 50,000 actually opened crypto wallets. So they were like, oh my goodness, is this even going to be successful? Are we even going to sell 10,000 NFTs?
Right.
They did sell out. What took them about 12 days to sell out last time would probably take them 12 hours or less now.
Wow.
Even in a down market, people are still crazy about being in that community. And when I was just with them in Minneapolis at the first VCon, people who bought those NFTs were the ones allowed to come to the event. There were 7,000 people there. It was sold out. But the people who bought the highest level ones with a smart contract for that exclusive access, they were in the front row. They were having a different experience. They were going backstage. So even though 7,000 people were there, they got to rub elbows with the keynote speakers. Our friend Jim Quick was there, Gareb Shamus. People got to talk to them backstage, learn about their experience, and they had that front row access. Now, some of them paid for that front row access at 400,000 plus, like 411,000 for the Empathy Elephant, gave people 3 years front row access, right? Well, if after the first year they got what they wanted, now they can sell it to someone else.
Wow.
Or they can come the next year, or they have different options they might not have before.
It's crazy. So much to learn, so little time. Lee, if people want to learn more from you, reach out to you, how do they find you?
Well, we're at NFTswithlee.com. That is a great way to get started, by the way, because people who want to know, how do I open my wallet? How do I get started? How do I purchase my first NFT? How do I even open the wallet for cryptocurrency and then move it to MetaMask so I can purchase an NFT?
Right.
We do step-by-step in the course. So NFTswithlee.com will get you into the course, will get you into the community. And we're going to have things that are there special along the way. So we want people to keep coming back, keep learning, and go on this venture with us.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It is such a delight. And I love growing, and I already am thinking about all the different ways we can help you and your brand grow in this NFT space as well.
I love it. Thank you. We'll be right back on Times Square today. See you soon.